We start this countdown with one of the most depraved comic books of the 21st century, a disturbing 4-issue miniseries that blends traditional animation with photo strip storytelling to produce one of the most compelling horror comics between the year 2004 and 2007. The Unfunnies is a journey through the dark side of the human soul, but told in the style of your favorite animated cartoon strips. Undoubtedly, the most uncompromising work Mark Millar ever produced. The story starts with the Crow family sitting down about to watch television. Suddenly, the police come through the door and arrest Mo the Crow for possession of child pornography. As the story progresses, we discover that crime and depravity have gone up in the world, and no one understands why or what is happening. The Punisher Max was a comic book ongoing series published under the Max imprint of Marvel Comics, featuring vigilante anti-hero The Punisher. If you thought the movie was violent, just be a witness to these comic strips. We follow the Punisher on his quest, fueled by anger after his family was gunned down by the mob in cold blood. The kills are absolutely brutal. One can only imagine how much red ink the printing companies had to go through following the release of this comic. Preacher tells the story of Jesse Custer, a preacher in the small Texas town of Annville. Custer is accidentally possessed by the supernatural creature named Genesis, the infant of the unauthorized unnatural coupling of an angel and a demon. The incident flattens Custer's church and kills his entire congregation. Genesis has no sense of individual will, but since it is composed of both pure goodness and pure evil, its power might rival that of God himself, making Jesse Custer, bonded to Genesis, potentially the most powerful being in the universe. Driven by a strong sense of right and wrong, Custer journeys across the United States attempting to literally find God, who abandoned heaven the moment Genesis was born. He also begins to discover the truth about his own powers. They allow him, when he wills it, to command the obedience of those who hear and comprehend his words. He is joined by his old girlfriend Tulip O'Hare, as well as a hard-drinking Irish vampire named Cassidy. During the course of their journeys, the three encounter enemies and obstacles, both sacred and profane, including the Saint of Killers, an invincible, quick-drawing, perfect aiming, come-lately angel of death, answering only to he who sits at the throne. There is also a disfigured suicide attempt survivor turned rock star named Arseface, and a serial killer called the Reaver Cleaver. The boys are a team who are tasked with not only keeping tabs on their superhumans of the world, but also killing them if required. It's a multicultural task force which is backed by the CIA. They often use methods such as blackmail to keep control over minor superhero delinquents, as well as beatings, mutilations, and even killing. The team leader, Butcher, an ex-English soldier, will do anything in his power to hold the group together long enough for him to seek revenge regardless of the emotional cost, a price he acknowledges worth paying. The scenes can be absolutely brutal, leaving little to the imagination. We now land at the #1 spot in today's countdown with the comic Crossed. The story follows survivors dealing with a pandemic that causes its victims to carry out their most evil thoughts. Carriers of the virus are generally known as the Crossed due to a large cross-like rash that appears on their faces. This virus is primarily spread through bodily fluids, which the Crossed have used to great effect by treating their weapons with their own fluids, as well as through other forms of direct fluid contact such as rape and bites, assuming the victim lives long enough to turn. A major difference between the Crossed and other fictional zombie or insanity virus epidemics is that while the Crossed are turned into homicidal violent psychopaths, they still retain a basic human level of intelligence. Thus, they are still capable of using firearms and tools, driving motor vehicles, setting complex traps, and other actions. The virus spread across the entire world, with the Crossed killing, raping, engaging in cannibalism, and maiming for fun. With governments and military overwhelmed, friends and family butchered each other with anything they laid their hands on, and cities were turned into vast channel houses. This is a deep and headfirst dive into the collapse of morality. The actions and depictions are absolutely putrid in nature. Hard as stomach, this comic will leave you completely baffled. Absolute relentless madness sealed in a set of comic strips.